Hey guys, Morgan the Rebellious Reviewer. We talk about music, books, and movies. And today we're going to be doing part 4 in my album a day challenge. So, this is me and 6 of my imaginary friends who are all dragons attempts at the Pokemon genre challenge from Rate Your Music. Basically, we just use a random Pokemon generator, a random number generator, and pick a genre based on those two things. Link to the genre table with all the Pokemon types and the genres will be linked in the description. And anyway, today's Pokemon is Goldeen, and today's album is The Fat of the Land by the Prodigy, which is a breakbeat album. Before we throw it over to my imaginary friends, though, I'm gonna give my brief thoughts on this album. It's pretty good. Sure, some of the songs drag on a little long, and I'm not a big fan of that super staticky, noisy part of Serial Thriller. But other than that, there are some real bangers on here. Particularly the 3 big hits, Breathe, Smack My Bitch Up, and Firestarter. And other than that, there are some deep cuts that go about as hard as those singles, like Fuel My Fire and Funky Shit. So, yeah. Other than a few flaws, it's pretty good. And for once, I actually have a score for this album. 8 out of 10, great album. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's get started with the voice acting, shall we? Hey, I'm Bolt Thunderstone, and this is Blaze Flarington, Houdini Presto, Skyler Wing, Forrest Woods, and Draven Onyx. This is the 4th video in the Album a Day series, and today's genre is breakbeat. I told you guys my turn would be awesome, and boy was I right. I love electronic music, and breakbeat is an awesome subgenre of it. At least the big beat variant is awesome. I'm not sure about the other subgenres. Anyway, today we're talking about one of my favorite big beat albums, The Fat of the Land by the Prodigy. This album is so much fun. It's like a ridiculously chaotic dance party in musical form, with punchy breakbeats, upbeat synths, and fast tempos galore. Every single track is at least solid, if not great. And the singles Smack My Bitch Up, Breathe, and Firestarter are electronic music classics. That's not to discredit the deep cuts either, because this album contains the great hip-hop song Diesel Power, the catchy Funky Shit, the brutal Serial Thriller, and the borderline punk Fuel My Fire. It's not a perfect album. Minefield is a bit boring, and both Narayan and Climatize drag on too long. But other than that, this is fantastic. 9 out of 10. Who wants to go next? I will. To me, the Prodigy has always been a prime example of wasted potential of Gen X. They could have stood for something and changed the system, but instead they chose mindless nihilism and apathy. Take Firestarter, which sounds like a song making fun of the government for calling electronic music and raves dangerous. Liam Howlett has since said that none of their music was meant to be political. That decimates the pathos of the song, leaving behind shock value for shock value's sake. That said, despite how much the Prodigy themselves annoy me, they can make some surprisingly solid electronic music with a surprising amount of experimentation. I really enjoyed the borderline noise section on Serial Thriller, and the progression of songs such as Narayan, Climatize, and Minefields. Breathe is a fun song that manages to steer clear of the over-the-top shock value that plagues the other two singles, especially Smack My Bitch Up. And Diesel Power is a surprisingly decent hip-hop song. However, I wouldn't quite call this a great album because of that shock value that just hasn't aged well. I would give it a 7 out of 10, but no higher. Wow. For 90s teenagers, you and Blaze sure hate 90s teenagers. We're dragon 90s teenagers, not human 90s teenagers. There's a difference. Sure there is. Anyway, I really enjoyed this one. It's electronic music, but it has enough rap and even rock elements that I can't really see how anyone could dislike it. Unless they're like Skyler and hate Gen X nihilism, that is. Luckily, I'm not like that, so I enjoyed every song. Minefields was probably my least favorite, but even it was a 7. The singles are all electronic music classics, as well as 90s classics in general, and the deep cuts match them and even exceed them in the case of Fuel My Fire. It's just an all-around great album with a danceable yet intense sound and great punchy production. 9 out of 10. Now that Houdini's gone, I'd like to piggyback off of the point he made about me hating Gen X nihilism. I do, but I actually like this album. Sure, it has some of that Gen X nihilism, but it also has actual fun while doing it. The instrumentation is bouncy, fun, and also heavy and intense at the same time. The new metalish section on Serial Thriller and the pseudo-punk sound on Fuel My Fire add a sense of darkness, along with the edgy imagery on singles like Smack My Bitch Up and Firestarter. But at the end of the day, it's a dance album. It's meant to make you dance, and for me it succeeds with flying colors. Minefield is a little boring, but other than that, wow. This record is damn near perfect. 9 out of 10. Wow, I'm surprised, Blaze. I thought you would hate this. What can I say? I'm full of surprises. Can I go next, Draven? I have a lot to say. Go ahead, Forrest. I was not really a fan of this album. It feels like the musical equivalent of a bad action movie. By that I mean it's so testosterone-fueled and hyper-macho that I can't listen to it without cringing. Everything from the meat-headed instrumentation to the wannabe tough guy lyrics to the edgy effects on Liam Howlett's voice remind me of Axe body spray, beer, cars, and sports. I know I'm male, and I have no problem with guys, gals, or anything in between that like that sort of stuff. But here it just feels like they're rubbing their machismo in my face. So yeah, not a fan. It gets a 4 out of 10 for me. Thanks, Forrest. You just gave us a bunch of angry manosphere dudes in the comments. Let them come. If they're gonna give this video free interaction, why not? Good point. That doesn't forgive you for ruining my awesome turn. Just being honest. Guys, shut up. It's my turn to talk. Sorry, Draven. That's alright. Anyway, I love this album. It's intense, in your face, and loud with just a hint of darkness. Despite this, it still manages to sound happy, which is amazing. Every single song is extremely fun to dance or even headbang to, which is not something I expected from an electronic album. It's also incredibly consistent, with each song hitting hard musically. The production is punchy, the instrumentation is intense, and the lyrics are delightfully twisted. I also quite like the vocals effects. This is about as perfect as electronic music gets. I give it a 10 out of 10. Wait, what? You heard me. Wow, that was unexpected. Not complaining, though. I've been adding up our scores while you guys have been processing the curveball Draven just threw at us. And this album gets a combined score of 48 out of 60. Same as Chumbawamba, below the Stooges, and above Swerve Driver. Thanks for ruining my score, Forrest. Hey, we're supposed to be honest here. Good point. Anyway, tomorrow is my turn to pick. We'll see if the trend of us getting genres we like continues. Yeah, as much as I love you, Skyler, I really hope not. If I'm the only one who gets a not liked genre on our first round, I may have to leave this project. Haha, just kidding. Now, let's throw it back to Morgan. And that's my video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I'm Morgan the Rebellious Reviewer, and I'm out.